It is going to foster functionality that allows users to, be able to do things in real time. A lot of times, what we as human beings value is time, right? And if it takes you 15 minutes to process a transaction or 25 minutes to move BNB from one exchange through 4 other places and swap cross-chain and go over to your wallet and then swap to actually get the result, a lot of times there's not people who have patience for that, and there's not people who will really truly trust that. And so we know in order to get there, we have to be able to give people what they're used to. I said it yesterday a little bit, but what they're used to is technology and software platforms and services that are available today, because those services and how they actually engage with those services is their comfort zone. And in order to get there, it's going to require us to actually build out that infrastructure. So we've done, Eric and I, we've got, and this is going to sound absolutely crazy, but there's well over 100 different platforms that are out there that need to be built and need to be put together so that mass adoption across all spaces in our lives can actually truly bring cryptocurrency to life and actually provide people the functionality and really the benefits that blockchain technology brings to the everyday life in terms of everybody in the world. So what we did is create a list, and we started to put that list together, and we prioritized the ones that needed to be done first. And the reason they need to be done first is because there's a window. And there's only so much time before somebody else is going to actually build it, right? And at some point, we know that if we are able to put the connections of all these things powering each other and putting the ecosystem together, we will build a brand behind the blockchain. And that brand behind the blockchain is simple and it's very easy to explain. Think about Apple, right? Think about them as a company. How do they communicate to the public? They communicate their belief first, and then after they say, hey, we want to build the standard in computing. We want to build the best hardware devices that will allow for the best experience and will have the least amount of problems for the users of those devices. And they do that. And then as they communicate that to the world, and that's how we all know Apple, right? If you're getting their phone, you're getting their watch, you're not buying the watch thinking that there could potentially be something wrong with it in 6 months, right? Your confidence level is at an all-time high. But you know that the watch integrates with the phone, and you know that it integrates with a couple other devices as well. So they all work together. But what Apple will do is they'll communicate their belief first, and then they'll say, oh, by the way, we make iPhones. And oh, by the way, we also make computers, and we also make watches. They will not put product first. They will communicate their belief system first. And that's what DevTeamSix will be doing going forward. We are very focused on what we believe in. We're focused on what we believe the future looks like. And we truly, truly have the passion, and we will build the patterns, and it'll all play out in what we produce. It'll all come out and tell the story for us, and we will build trust, and we will we'll earn your loyalty as we move forward through these programs and products and different platforms that we build. And so when people ask, why do you have Pi, and why are you doing Mini Doge, and then why now Moonforce? The reason why is because there's only a short amount of time to be able to build this thing out and to build out the most prioritized pieces first. I think I was talking to a financial advisor earlier. He asked me about real estate. He asked me about getting into the real estate area on blockchain. And I told him, we have a real estate platform that we are going to be building out. It's not happening this year. It may or may not happen next year. It's actually pretty far down on the list. But it's because nobody else, we're not running the risk that anybody else is building that platform yet. It's not like in 6 months someone's going to go build the vision that we have and how we revolutionize how to close homes in the real estate space on the blockchain. It's going to happen, and we're going to build it. It's just not something we need to do tomorrow. It's not something we need to do in 6 months. We're going to fix the inherent issues that live within the blockchain space now with how people engage with crypto. Remember I say blockchain and crypto? Crypto, right? So what is PiSwap doing? What are we doing here? We all engage in cryptocurrency, right? We all get excited because it's an opportunity. So as you're doing that, where does the immediate demand really live today? The immediate demand lives in the crypto space. It lives inside of how the users and investors and holders are engaging with cryptocurrency on the token side and on the blockchain side. And what we're doing is focusing on that first and foremost. Why mini Doge? Why mini pets? Why gaming? Because gaming and NFTs is that third level, in my opinion, for NFT space. And that's where NFTs will build true intrinsic value, and that's where NFTs will have the most value. And NFTs is an accelerated pace right now. So in order to truly stay ahead of it, we got to get ahead of it. So we'll go through it and we'll get to it, and we'll build out the most revolutionized version of a gaming crypto asset that puts NFTs true intrinsic value and allows us to put people in position to truly experience that. I hear a lot of whispers. You see a lot of talking about taking gaming and marrying it with NFTs and putting it all together to where, you know, this sword can go into multiple games and be used in multiple ways. That's all great, and people are talking a lot about it, and there are projects out there actually doing something about it, which is exciting. But at the same time, they're not going to have the powerful other pieces of the ecosystem that can power a bigger platform that's going to put a bigger foundation underneath. And that's where we win. That's where our holders win. That's where DevTeamSix actually builds its reputation. As I said earlier, you can't compartmentalize these projects. They have to all connect to each other. And a lot of times, it doesn't matter what you're building. If you're building a game with NFTs and you're coming up with a series that has, you know, pieces of NFTs that can be applied to multiple games, that's great. But that's only one step in the process of building the true foundation for all things with cryptocurrency, NFTs, to be able to actually function the way people will want to engage with them. Okay, so why Moonforce? Why are we doing Moonforce? Why so soon? Why so early? Well, because one, somebody else is going to build the right way to do pre-sales and launches and all that, to do it decentralized on the blockchain. Somebody's going to do it. So we know there's only a window of opportunity to do it and do it right. But to truly bring the actual toolkit that should be built into those launch pads and do it right, and do it before anybody else does it, and then integrate back to what I said earlier, all those interconnecting pieces that builds its foundation underneath it so that it can stand alone on its own or it becomes part of the bigger ecosystem. It's going to build confidence and trust in what's being built out there. Right now, it's very, very low end. It doesn't have functionality. It doesn't have the ability to do the things as we were talking about a little bit about Moonforce yesterday, and quite frankly, it's a land grab on new tokens. And I think I told you guys a little bit about them taking a bunch of tokens and basically hurting the projects. We want it to be where these projects can do these things with confidence, do these things with trust, and be able to provide the people out there that are relying upon what they're being told to know that it's real, that it's been vetted, that it's been looked at, and people know that if they're getting engaged with something, they're not going to have to sit and live on Telegram 24 hours a day, 7 days a week after they launch the pre-sale to know whether or not something happened with the token or it's a rug pull or something of that nature. We want to build that because that, we all know, is one of the biggest problems with engaging in what? Cryptocurrency, right? So I just wanted to walk you guys through that. No, we don't mix up our teams. We are hiring constantly, building a bench of kick-ass developers, people that really know what they're doing. Those of you that met Abraham, who's here today, you guys can maybe possibly vouch for him. He's a really fun guy, but he gets really passionate about what he's doing and what he's talking about. Like I said, there will be a day that his name will be on the front paper for disrupting crypto. It's only a matter of when, not if, in my opinion. But we're very blessed to have great people and great leaders and really a great core team. A lot of what you see is our core team. We can't bring everybody here all at once, but we can bring the core pieces of the puzzle. Keep in mind, and this is where a lot of people are always asking, like, why not everybody? And you have to understand, if we brought everybody here, they wouldn't be working. And we wouldn't get anything done if it became, the road show all the time, or if it was the Telegram show all the time, or the Twitch show all the time. We just wouldn't get anything done. We need those people to stay focused and keep driving the projects and the development of those projects to where we get them and the results that we're looking for. So does anybody have any questions on that part of this conversation yet? Yes, sir.
I know a lot of the community, a lot of times I get feedback that with like a scan over one time in the headquarters of the different teams, just like they don't even have to show their faces or nothing, but just like a group of developers physically working on something, a scan over, we just put a lot of people's hearts at ease for whatever reason. Whether or not you choose to do it is fine with me. I just would like to put it out there because I've seen it a lot.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's stuff that, quite frankly, because we're going so fast and so quick, it's not even stuff that we think about, but we'll definitely consider doing that here shortly so you guys can see it. That's no problem. No problem. Anything else?
Sir?
Yes.
Can you describe the relationship with between Moonforce and the Mini Doge and the PYE?
Yeah, so the relationship between... So Moonforce has a relationship with Pi. Mini Doge is more the gaming NFT space. So the only real relationship that we may build into Moonforce in the future for Mini Doge potential, positive for the holders, will be that the NFT marketplace that lives in Mini Doge, they'll be able to launch NFT projects on Moonforce and launch those where they can actually sell them in the marketplace. But that's not something that it'll be right away. That'll be something that we would add in the future.
So is there any method to make use of Moonforce to pump up the price and the market cap of Mini Doge and PYE?
Well, for Pi, all the launches that go on in Moonforce, all the launchpad deals that go down and pre-sales, they'll all stake to Pi Swap, which is where Pi Swap will benefit big time.
In that relation, Pi as well.
And so Pi will be probably the biggest beneficiary of Moonforce out of all the projects. But it will also be integrated back to connecting pieces and puzzles and all the different projects together.
So definitely, you mean there must be extra benefit from the Moonforce to the PYE holders?
There will be, yes, because as those transactions start happening on liquidity pools on PiSwap, the fees will then obviously get reflected to Pi holders. So as the volume continues to grow, Eric and I have talked a lot about, like yesterday I said 12% on the sale. Unicrypt is a little different. There's a couple other launch pads out there. They all seem to live in the same space in terms of fees. But with Moonforce, if they stake the liquidity pool to Pi and launch on Pi, we're looking at probably 3% of a fee versus 10% to go to Uniswap or 10% to go to PancakeSwap. So it'll cost them 3 times the amount. So we're going to really focus on fostering them putting those liquidity pools onto PiSwap. That'll be the goal.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
You're
That's
welcome.
Very, very, very nice.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question from Mark, the moderator, who is a wonderful person. I met him in Vegas. He had just messaged me and has a question to ask. It's a two-part question. What is PyPad if Moonforce is a launching platform? And the follow-up is, what is PyLabs? If you could.
Yeah. So what we've done is PyPad is actually turned into Moonforce. PyLabs is something I'm not at liberty to discuss yet. There's conversations and signatures and things of that nature that we're working through. So when the time is right, we'll publicly announce PyLab.
You mentioned Forever Chain not necessarily being the name of it, it's just the concept of it until we get there, so I appreciate that answer.
Sure.
For sure.
Sure. Any other questions? Okay, so initially, and I know I only got like 5 minutes, it feels like, so you guys can thank. No, she told me I had till 12:15.
Oh, wow.
You guys can thank Ryan later for a shorter version of this. But one thing, I just want to talk through some Moonforce features we didn't talk about yesterday, so you guys know a little bit more about that. And then I'm going to tell you about the next 6 months worth of platforms that we have prioritized that will be coming out over the next 6 months. Does that sound like fun? I didn't hear you guys. Get excited. Let's hear it. Let's go.
But they'll be super brief.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. But you have a streaming video, so you might want to remember that part. Okay. So if you guys want to do it table by table would be good. Yeah, table by table would be good. That way we can keep this going and talking at the same time. So Moonforce. There will be the Launchpad, which will be the sales pre-sale incubator that people will be able to obviously take various projects and go on there and launch. There will be at first there will be ETH and BSC. So it'll be on mainnet or on the smart chain. And then in the future, we will add the Cardanos and we'll add all the other chains where you can launch onto those chains as well. And the good thing about PySwap, we'll actually make it to where when you launch onto Cardano, PySwap will also support Cardano their chain as well for swapping. Moving forward, it'll also have obviously the lock-in liquidity function for the developers that are doing the sales incubator. Then we get into the developer war room. The war room will have the tracking analytics data for marketing. It'll also have tracking analytics data for them to track on BSC scan as well as off of mainnet, depending on where their token lives. There will also be obviously the marketplace for marketing services. And this one I actually get excited about is the influencer side. Because as I told you guys before, they'll have that unique link that they can assign to each influencer, to anybody that's working with a project or saying they're going to help market for the project. They can also, believe it or not, you can also create unique links for people within the community that want to participate in a competition. Let's say you wanted 10 people, they all want to compete for an awesome prize or something like that. They can all take a unique link assigned to them or go on there and create a link for them, assign it to each person, and then those people can go out and do shilling or marketing or whatever they want. And then whoever does the best, obviously, there's data to really support their efforts, which is really cool. So they'll have the ability to hire these influencers on the platform, similar to like Fiverr. So if you've ever used Fiverr, you can hire people directly. What's really cool is that the projects that hire the influencers have the ability to rate them and give feedback. So as somebody is an influencer, they have to really truly earn their feedback. It can't just be on there to be on there. They have to actually be on there doing what they say they're going to do and not just charging and stealing millions and millions of dollars from projects all over the place right now because everybody's doing it blind, which is very exciting.
Like an
Like an Angie's List / Fiverr type feel.
Verify the influencer's ability to actually promote.
100%. So the next thing is there will be platforms that offer marketing, kind of like a Coinzilla, things of that nature. Those will all be listed on there. It basically creates a developer roadmap for the success of a launch for a token project. It will give them a checklist that they need to check things off from. So in their war room, they will have a token launch checklist. They will have all, like, everything will be on there. You know, they could set up their Facebook page right through there. They could set up their Twitter account right through there. They can do everything that they'll ever really need to do right through the war room. The other thing is we'll have agencies listed on there that'll be vetted agencies that are cryptocurrency based and truly know what they're doing when it comes to cryptocurrency. So we'll have vetted agencies. There will be the Telegram experts and community managers that will be listed on there that are well-known, vetted community managers for every country that will speak in every language, that can be hired by the project to support the project, and they'll be able to negotiate directly with those people that are listed in the database. There will be press release services from all the article sites around the world. Those services will either be directly to the actual media outlet themselves, or it may be through a third party that offers like more of a package deal where you get on Cointelegraph, you can get on MarketWatch, you can have Yahoo. Having the ability to just have a one-click stop shop for them. This next piece I think is very exciting. It's exciting for us. I know it's exciting for Devin. But the next piece is all cryptocurrency exchanges will be in the war room. There will be their direct to decision makers, and the people who are in there will be vetted and verified they're from those exchanges. They will be able to do a one-click where they'll be able to check off the exchanges they want to apply to. They will be able to submit an application through their war room, so they don't have to go to 16 different exchanges to try to find 18 different email addresses to figure out how they're going to actually apply for those exchanges. This will all be already done for the project. They will just one click, or maybe they want all 285 exchanges. They just select all, they go and apply, and now they've applied to all 285 exchanges, all in one click. It's a one-stop shop. They will be able to receive their messages from those exchanges within the war room right there inside of Moonforce. They will also negotiate. They will work together on marketing aspects. They will be able to coordinate their efforts on the launching of those exchanges as well. There will also be partnership opportunities. So where people are looking to offer tech services, they're looking to offer services to help build and develop off these projects. There will be a section in the war room where if somebody's looking to actually help build a portion of somebody's roadmap or something of that nature, they will be able to go to that section of the site and put an inquiry in or a request in to either meet with them or talk to them or work with them on that project as well. Now I'm going to get into the next pieces of this. There will be Moon Audit. Moon Audit is a service that Moonforce will offer. Moon Audit will be an auditing service for all tokens. Moon Audit will be looking at all tokens on every chain. It won't just be on BSC as well as ETH. It'll be on all chains. And it'll be very similar to the auditing services you see today. We will also have Moonforce certification for projects. Moonforce certification, once certified, they will receive a certification number for their project. They will actually receive a little badge that goes on their website that says Moonforce certified. And to be Moonforce certified, I want to help you guys understand the actual metrics that it will require. First and foremost, how many teams out there have you guys ever heard that say that they're a doxed team? Have you seen them before?
One or two, maybe.
One or two?
I've seen a dude that you can follow his tracks to LinkedIn, but it's so rare.
Yeah.
Period.
So I can name, well, I don't want to name it because it's probably bad taste. I would just say there's a pre-sale happening today that's happening this afternoon, actually. Or it might have already happened, I don't know. But there's one happening today that the team is doxed with a video of actors that clearly are not the devs and clearly are not the people who were on their live AMA the other day. And because they needed translators for it for whatever reason, but for whatever reason they spoke English in the video. Just saying. Anyhow, what Moonforce certification means is that you have been fully vetted. So if you claim you want to be certified, you have to be fully doxed. And what does fully doxed mean? I don't want your LinkedIn. I don't want your Twitter. I don't need that. I need to know. I'll verify all of that, and we will also verify through very similar to what a centralized exchange does with the KYC. We will do all the IDs. We will check IDs. We will speak to those people via Zoom, some sort of platform that allows us to see them. I don't want to just hear them. We want to see them. We'll have a full standardized questionnaire that we will ask them verbally and visually to help us understand if everything they claim their project is doing, it seems as though that they really truly are vested in this project. And then obviously it'll require to be certified, it'll require a full audit. They will have to pass and make sure that they have no severe issues or moderate issues or things of that nature with their contract. And then obviously, making sure that doesn't seem to be any sort of backdoors for the contract itself to make sure that it is safe. So to be able to get to that level, there will be a whole, even in our moon space, I didn't talk about moon space, huh? Moon space on the platform is actually our CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko listings that will live on Moonforce. It's not coming from there. It'll be Moonforce build, Moonforce database, Moonforce everything. It'll be similar to a CoinMarketCap, a CoinGecko, or things of that nature. But there will be segments. So instead of just segmenting by the type of token, DeFi, or that type of thing, they will be able to segment by certified projects. They will be able to segment by obviously market cap, various things like that, total supply, volume, things of that nature. So, and if they're certified, it'll also have the little badge on their listing on the ranking site as well. So you'll know which ones of the projects are certified and which ones aren't. The next step here, and then when they do the launch on the launch pad, there will be two versions. There will be where they can do a standard launch, which includes a rug check by the Moonforce side to verify that there is no issues with the contract, that it could be a honeypot, right? That it might potentially have an issue. So there will be no dropping a contract and staking a quick pre-sale and 5 minutes later it goes live. It'll be a 3-hour minimum before they actually can schedule it out 3 hours at the very least. That'll be the minimum time that they can schedule a launch. At that time, we will check it for honeypot, we will check it for rug pull potential and backdoors, even if they don't go and get certified by us, because we will not allow a project to launch any token on Moonforce if they're going after a honeypot or they're going after some sort of rug pull type mechanism that has been put in there, or a backdoor on the contract. We just won't do it. We'll cancel the pre-sale, and then they can contact and put an inquiry in on the platform, and we'd be happy to respond to them, but we will not just allow them to put that through. On the flip side, if they get Moonforce certified, they will be showed as a certified launch. So those projects that get Moonforce certified will actually show up as a certified launch, which will typically be your very serious projects that are not just dabbling, they're actually there to build something great. And a lot of times we'll be there to verify and make sure that they're living up to those standards. So I'm going to give you guys 4 other platforms that are coming. But I'm negative 10 minutes to do it. But I don't know how negative I am now that you guys have food on your plates. So I guess I'll be okay for a minute. I'll talk about the first one. The first one, I mentioned it yesterday. It's called Yelper. It's Yelper. Yelper is actually going to be the stock twits of crypto. What we're aiming to do with that is to utilize the NFTs from Imagible as we move forward, but to be able to provide a very effective place for people to just talk about crypto, but to be in a place where there's autonomy and there's the ability for each room. So if anybody gone on StockTwits? Everybody use StockTwits? So StockTwits so once you have a room, you can't create a room on StockTwits. The rooms are created, you have to submit, kind of like a CoinMarketCap. You have to submit your listing or to get a listing on there for your project. Once you get a list and you get listed on there, the devs don't have control over the room. They don't have control over the room. They don't have control over everything. So the transparency that's on there is that if somebody is doing something intentionally and it can be seen as they are just attacking in the room, those people can get reported clearly. And as they get reported it's community driven, right? So if the community reports that person enough times, that whatever FUD or whatever they're intentionally trying to scam people, whatever the case is, it gets removed. But it's really the community owns it. And I think Telegram is great, but as we all know, Telegram can be whatever the dev or whoever is controlling the room wants you to see or hear. This way, if there's real truth to issues, it'll be very difficult if the community truly, the sentiment of what's going on is that something's inherently wrong with what's happening here. It will be very difficult because you'd have to convince the community to basically tell on themselves. But even if there's attacks from other projects, we'll have mechanisms in there to be able to see that and notice that. If all of the people are, typically, commenting on SafeMoon's room and there are a bunch of SafeMoon people, and then all those same people, in a percentage of them, jump to another board and just start posting at the same time, that will be a red flag, and then those will most likely get removed. We'll have systems in place to keep the communities and the boards in a very healthy fashion, but to make sure that they're as transparent as possible. So Yelper is coming. Yelper is something that you'll see this year, just so you know. We are also going to launch, I think Examable is going to be this year as well. Am I right on that, Eric?
Yeah, it may be tied, but it should be this year.
Should be this year. So people are wondering, what is Examable? I'm trying to give you guys the 5-minute pitch on it. It's probably about a 2-hour pitch because there's literally so much that it'll be doing for people. But let's look at it this way. What do you guys do? Does anybody go on BSC Scan ever? Raise your hand if you use BSC Scan. Raise your hand. Everybody in the room, if you use BSC Scan, raise your hand. Okay, so let me ask you this. Why are you on BSC Scan? Check wallets, contracts, checking to see who the holders are, right? Okay, so BSC Scan is just a wealth of information, right? So is Etherscan, so is a lot of scans for the different blockchains, right? Well, the problem is that there's a lot of data, but the data is there. It's just to put all that data in a snapshot and to truly give analytics and metrics and take algorithms based on percentages, and then also to understand who is living in that project, right? So you might have 20,000, 100,000, 200,000 holders. Okay, but what's the average amount of days that those holders keep their tokens? You can't see that on BSC scan, can you? Right? You can't see trading patterns for specific wallets. You can't see any of that. I mean, you could try to dive into it, and it'll take you hours to try to start adding all the data up and try to come up with your own version of what that means. But what Examable is going to do is it's going to actually take all that data, build snapshots, and there will be templated pieces, right? There will be there'll be a token scan that will give you very overview 2,000-foot view print of the type of holders, and they'll all be ranked. It'll be the contract itself, its volume. It'll tell you averages based on dailies. It'll give you a bunch of information based on the average buy. So if it's a bunch of $1 purchases and it's just a whole bunch of people buying at $1 to get to 200,000 holders, you'll know that the average buyer or holder really isn't a holder. It's just a bunch of teams trying to boost up their number of holders. You'll even know whether or not, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. You'll know whether or not a project went and actually took all the holders from another project and threw one token in their wallets to say that they gained 300,000 holders overnight. You'll be able to see all this stuff in real time. You'll be able to actually track your investments and your projects. So as those variables change, right? It's not just a snapshot and look at it today. There will be a tracking mechanism, and if those variables change, you'll be able to actually control whether, if the number of, transactions per day drops, or you're starting to see, let's say the average days per, for the holders of the project starts to drop rapidly. You'll see that. You'll see have the ability to change your variables. So if it drops by 20%, it'll send you a notification. It'll be able to set up your specific metrics, your specific pieces that you want to know that you're constantly checking. So if the top 20 holders, let's say the top 20 holders, there's any significant movement by more than 2% in their wallet on that token, it can notify you. It can notify you and say, hey, wallet number 7 just, adjusted, their holding just adjusted down by 22%. So you'll know right away, right at your fingertips. So you don't have to track it all day. You don't have to look at it constantly. We'll also rate the actual tokens based on the holders. And what we're tracking is historically the biggest projects that grow and they go to the moon. We're tracking what type of holders those people are. We're also tracking what those holders purchase and where they purchase. And we're also going to be tracking where those holders are buying new tokens. So you'll have a hot list of tokens that will be listed on Examable. The hot list is where is all the big money moving? Where are they moving their money? So if it's the top holders out of SafeMoon or the top holders on Shiba, and they're buying a whole bunch of some coin over here, it's definitely not something you see every day because you can't see what they're doing all the time or keep track of it constantly. But this is going to notify you. If you want to know the top 10 every day, we'll email it to you. If you want to know, the top 20 hottest new trended tokens with the most money being poured into that are not pre-sale tokens, that are tokens that have been around for a month or two, you can sell those metrics on Examable and then be able to have that sent back to you. The next one I'll talk about is Restored. Restored is, these are actual all.coms, guys. These are not like examable.finance. These are real.com. These are real brands. Restored.com, one word, will be a blockchain cloud service that will be available for data and for files and things of that nature that people want to stake to the blockchain. And it'll be built out for the benefit of those users that are looking to be able to be decentralized but also have the encryption of the blockchain so that they can keep their stuff safe and have confidence in that it will stay safe. We've also got, and this is the last one I'll talk about because I don't know if I'm 6 out yet or not, but the other ones I'll hold off till next year. The last one, and this is also a .com. I've talked about this a little bit, but those of you that never heard it before, we are going to take subsidize.com, which is a one-word, subsidize.com, and it'll be a crowdfunding crypto platform that will be used for both charities, personal, as well as for business, for crowdfunding, for startups, and for really any cause that somebody can think of. And we will do vetting the charities that are on there. We'll do vetting of the actual businesses that are on there, and then the personal reasons for medical or an accident or an emergency of some sort. Those will have to have something like that has happened recently to be on that platform as well. But that'll be probably late. No, it'll probably be early next year that we'll be working with Subsidize. So we're trying to space those out. We think that we can do these in the time frames that we're kind of pushing these down a little bit further, because as I said earlier, that priorities list, what's first, what comes down the road, we truly believe in that philosophy. We truly believe that, yes, there will be people that have done this in some capacity, but remember the ultimate. You're probably thinking, well, I've heard of a crowdfunding blockchain, or I've heard of a potential type StockTwits type, crypto thing, and I've heard of, all this other stuff. The good news is for us, we will have all the other platforms married to each other, which will build the foundation that ultimately puts the functionality for the future that is required, so that the ecosystem does what? It brings less friction, it allows true user experience, and it allows people to navigate between all these different types of things that they would maybe want to do within crypto, but never really have to leave the ecosystem. So as we continue forward, you'll hear about new ones, you'll hear about other things. And Eric, you said I can't tell them about the other thing, right?
Which one?
The fun one.
No, I think we should still chat about that.
Okay.
Quick question, real fast, is there a token involved in each one of these projects?
Those 4, yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, sir. Say it again. Mm-hmm.
It's a screener for stocks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is that basically what you were talking about?
Mm-hmm. Very similar. Very, very similar. That married with a little bit of StockTwits in it. Yeah, and I like the StockTwits site because you can search by the name, and it brings up pretty much any hashtags and things like that. Other questions? Yeah.
Will some of these more advanced services, like maybe from the ones you were listing for example, would those be chargeable? Like people would charge?
Yeah, well, it'll be where the holders at a certain rate, like if you hold enough examinable, you can use all the services.
Oh, I see.
So it'll be on a tiered basis. So if you want like the premium service, you would have to hold enough examinable to be able to access all those services. Or you can pay for them, in which if they pay for them, because they don't hold the tokens, if they pay for them, then what we would do is exactly what we've done with every other platform that we ever created, and that would be take the fees on an annual or a monthly basis from revenue and reflect that back in BNB or in ETH, depending on which side of the tokens we put them on.
I just think we want to
So for those pie holders, I'll leave you with this. Apple is coming. And that's all I'll leave you with. Right, Eric? Apple is coming. Thank you.